Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXC. I am Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head coach and athletic director Sammy Burnett. How are you doing this fine day, sir?
I'm really good.
Well, that's good.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hey, I saw you at City Hall.
I know. I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
We usually don't bump into each other
Not
at City
Hall. I felt
so,
a little important.
Yeah, so why were you at City Hall yesterday,
Well,
sir?
I call current triple jump state champ was rewarded with I Call Day on May the 14th. So he was pretty excited about that. Riding home from that event, it meant a lot to him. So I'm thankful for the city and the mayor for doing that. He was really special. So he got acknowledged. What's the word I'm looking for?
Recognized.
Recognized. That's the word I'm looking for. Recognized for his accomplishments in track this year. So it was a great thing for him. It was a great thing for our school.
Yeah, really big deal. I believe Mayor Haynes said he'd only given out
14.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It's a big deal.
Of course, state champion.
There's
only a handful of those in the state, so yeah.
That's right.
So congratulations to Ike on that and everything he accomplished this year. I see you brought a couple of special guests today. You want to introduce those guys?
Well, I just drug up whoever I could find. Not really. With me, right beside me, is Noah Gonzalez. He has a nice shiner. Just got him 9 fresh stitches after last night's 7-on-7 festivities. And then right beside him is Braden Stacks. Noah and Braden are both going to be seniors next year. Noah sort of heads our defense in the back end, so gets us set up where we need to be coverage-wise and what's going on back there. He plays safety for us. And then Braden, of course, is our quarterback. So I feel sorry for Braden.
Why? Because he's
Noah? Because he has to deal with Coach Burnett a lot.
Oh, well, yeah.
A lot.
Well,
he does a good job of handling it.
So do I. So.
Oh, you sure do. You sure do. But you don't play quarterback.
That's
so.
true. No, yeah.
Tough
y'all would like to win some games. You don't want me playing quarterback.
Tough gig.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a little 7-on-7. Of course, y'all kicked off the league play last night. I guess let's start with Noah and tell everybody how you got that nice little wound there.
So basically, I was going down to go touch someone, and he turned around really fast, and me and his head just popped immediately, and yeah, I started.
Touched him with your temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going down to touch him, but it was Noah doesn't know much about touching. He's more of a collision kind of guy. Forgot that he didn't have on pads, and that guy turned about the time Noah arrived, and they butted heads a little bit.
Yeah.
Glad you're doing okay.
I am too.
Not too many stitches.
No,
The young man, he did win that battle too. He got 9 stitches. The other young man got 7.
Oh, all right.
So I'm glad they're both okay. Talked to Coach Aguirre, and he said his kid was doing good, and then called Noah after he got all his stuff done, and he seemed to be same old Noah. So
That's good. Well, I guess kind of talk about last night's game. Looked like y'all were fairly successful. So just what y'all think of y'all's first time out there in league play?
I think we did really good for our first time coming out there. We talked very well, but we could get better at talking a little bit. But I think we competed really good, and just went out there and had fun and did what we did and won all 3 games. So.
Okay. Braden, of course, you're seeing more time at quarterback now. So how'd you feel the offense looked last night?
I think we're a little rusty from last year, but as the night went on, we seemed to knock it off a little. But kind of felt Noah's impact once he left on the defensive end. But I'll be glad to have him back next Monday, hopefully.
So kind of talk about what it's like for you getting additional playing time here in the summer and how that's going to help prepare you for the fall.
I think it's good right now to build chemistry with your receivers, and just the more you're throwing to them, and you just know how fast they're breaking out of routes and stuff like that. So I think it's good just to be able to be out there with your team and stuff.
Of course, Noah got a lot of playing time in 7-on-7 last year, so I guess what's the difference this year between last year for you as far as kind of what you get out of 7-on-7?
Last year I really didn't play as much. I mean, I did, but I really didn't because I didn't know as much. But now I feel like I'm more vocal out there, and I understand the game more at safety, and I'm able to communicate with my teammates on the defensive side better.
As far as y'all are concerned, by the time 7-on-7's over, you've got the league play, you've got the tournaments coming up. What do you hope the team accomplishes? What do you hope y'all get out of this individually?
I hope we get better with chemistry and everything for this upcoming season, and that we just come in together as one. Like everybody says, we are one. So I hope we're together on the same page and everything. Everybody does their job and everything like that.
What about you, Braden?
I think it's pretty similar. I think obviously our goal is to qualify for the tournament and then make some noise there, hopefully. But just building chemistry and getting closer with your teammates and stuff like that.
So who are some of the other guys that we should look out for in 7-on-7 on the offensive and defensive side? Whoever wants to go first.
The defensive side, we should really watch Kenyon McDowell. Ravens coming up too.
Both cornerbacks.
Yes, sir. Kevin and our linebackers. What's his name?
Brinson Martin.
Yes, sir. Brinson. Robbie too.
Robbie Robinson.
Yes, sir. And then
You got Enrique.
Ricky.
And
Yeah.
then you got Trey
Mosley.
at
Yeah.
linebacker. And who are we missing anybody there? Levi Pearson, who was out yesterday. He plays running back and linebacker for us, but he got leg whipped pretty bad during the period, so he wasn't able to go yesterday.
And Kevin Webster.
Kevin plays nickel, which is a spot that has to be filled from last year's group. But, when you look at it, Noah is our most experienced guy. He's a very physical safety. He's got a lot of knowledge, like he said, and we're going to depend on him to get us set. What we're going to start in, what coverage he feels like is good for us, at what point we're on the field, and what they're trying to do to us when they go to motioning and all that kind of stuff. It's his job to check us out of what we're in if we need to get into something else, and he's really the quarterback on the defensive side when it comes to our back end during a game and also during 7-on-7. So it's important that he's out there. He only got to play the first half of the first game. That's when it happened. So then he had to go get taken care of. But as Braden said, we definitely lost the communication trust at the rest of the night. But there's always a learning point there. When he's gone, someone has to step up, and we had some difficulties. People were shifting a running back or shifting a receiver and then motioning. And that entails a lot of things you have to do. So losing him sort of made a big impact, and it also let our kids know what kind of leader he is, and glad that he's out there when he's out there. So we had some learning to do and some communication. I think it's all communication when you're talking about 7-on-7, and you're talking about coverages and how what people do to us dictate the coverage that we need to be in. We try not to let them dictate what we do. We try to keep it simple, but also in a way that they don't understand that we're not going to be in the same coverage every time, and we try to dictate what we do. And Noah's really the quarterback on the defense that does that.
And then Braden, you got some pretty experienced receivers you're getting to throw to.
Sure.
So kind of talk about the offense a little bit and some of the guys to watch.
I think you're going to have to watch out for all the receivers, including and Trey Mosley. But it is nice to have some experience on it, and they're able to help me out, too, throughout the game. So.
When you look across if you go, as Dallas Houston said, if you go right to left on your radio dial, you got Carson O, who's a phenomenal receiver. He's got great in-air ability to get his body in position to make plays. He goes up there and takes balls away from people. He does a great job of setting up routes to beat the guy across from him. And the way we look at it, if he's going to get one-on-one matchup, we're going to take advantage of it. Stone Ratliff plays a slot on the right side. Had a bunch of catches the other night. Really, he's turned into a vocal leader on the offensive side. Does a great job of running routes. Does a really good job of running crisp routes and getting open. Aaron Edmonds is a slot on the left, which is our F, and a lot of speed, a lot of ability to beat you deep, and a lot of ability to get open space. And the new addition at the X position, which is the wideout on the left, is Grant Gray. And Grant's a Carson O type guy. He's a tall frame, very strong kid, has the ability to outrun you, has the ability to go get a deep ball. But what I was impressed a lot on yesterday with him was the fact that he feels the defense and what they're doing and finds zones and gets open and gets in the windows he's supposed to get in and gets open. So I was really pleased with that. So when you look at it, the ability to throw to 4 different dudes is phenomenal. I mean, and trust the fact they can all go do what they do. I think probably the best receiving core we've had since I've been here. and we've had some good ones. We had some really good ones, but those 4 guys work extremely well together. They're very smart. They understand change of formation, responsibility changes. They understand defenses. They understand what we're trying to do. So that definitely helps the quarterback out. And, of course, you got 2 running backs with Trey Mosley and Levi Pearson that are going to give us the ability to pound the rock, but do a good job in 7-on-7, knowing what their job is and getting open as a check down. So a good start for us this week. Still got to work on communication. Still got to work on trust. Again, what Braden touched on before, when you got receivers out there, you got to understand if you're throwing a deep ball to Carson O, it's different than throwing it to Grant Gray or any other receiver. You got to know their speed. You got to know where you're supposed to put the ball. If you're throwing a fade at 22 yards and you run like Carson O, you may need to throw that thing at 23 yards. If you're running to a guy that may be not as fast, you got to put that ball in a different position. So understanding them, same page, knowing that if they see zone that he's going to show his chest and sit down, Braden's got to be able to touch that. So there's a lot of nonverbal communication that goes on once that ball snapped that they have to figure out. And I think that 7-on-7 allows them an opportunity to get to know each other, trust each other, know what we're doing on routes, if we have to adjust a route or change a route while we're doing it, and knowing that they're going to do it. So, Braden's got to throw 2 windows, and he's got to throw them open is what we call it. What I mean by that is sometimes he's got to put the ball in a place knowing that the receiver's going to be there when he's not there yet. And you got to trust that receiver because if not, it turns into an interception, and it's really not the quarterback's fault, but he gets blamed. So just them going out there and work on learning each other and how we do things and trusting that the receiver's going to do what he's supposed to do, and then understanding as a quarterback how that receiver runs his routes is big.
Of course, we talked about being successful last night. I don't think I gave you the chance to tell everybody the results. So.
What I do like about 7-on-7, it balances the playing field. I mean, you go out there, you put 7 dudes out there. Doesn't matter what size of school you are, classification. It really doesn't matter because it's 7-on-7, and it really balances the playing field. And you have to work. You have to work hard. You can't just walk out there. You don't have pads on, so you got to go out there and communicate. You got to work. Evident in the scores. I mean, we beat San Saba 13-12. Which was a good game. I think we had to come back in that one. Beat Early 34-7. Where I had the ability to get over the top of Early a little bit, and when with their coverages, and I thought our quarterbacks did a good job of communicating what they wanted to do, and we made some good catches against them. And then battled a real close, tough battle with a Comanche team that's very physical. You're not supposed to jam and reroute in 7-on-7, but when we're playing in the league, we allow that to happen because it's football. And those kids have got to learn to do that, so when we're out there with them, it's not a sanctioned event. We're allowing that to happen. And there was a time in that little game that it got chirpy. I mean, the kids are getting aggressive, and they're compassionate about what they do, and we had a little back and forth, but it's healthy. We stopped them and talked to them and got them to understand, stay under control, keep doing what you're doing because football is a physical game, but, don't take it overboard. But what I saw in that, when that stuff happened, which wasn't a negative thing, it was a great learning thing, was the fact that our guys were going to step up and defend each other. They were going to get out there, and they're not going to take trash off anybody. They're going to step there, and then all of a sudden you start messing with one, you're going to mess with all, and that was a big deal for me. That's the unity, that's the chemistry, that's the love and compassion that you have for your teammates. So I think it was a good thing. Like I said, we stopped it. It wasn't anything bad. It was a little bit of talking, a little bit of extracurricular after a play. It got a little bit physical at 7-on-7, but that's okay. They're doing it, we're doing it. And you don't want to knock that. You don't want to try to corral that, but you got to stop at the moment and say, hey, understand we're proud of you for what you're doing, but we got to back it down a little bit at 7-on-7. So it was a good thing, but it's a great competition.
So league games are normally going to be on Monday nights, right? And
we'll pick it up again next Monday at 6 o'clock. Man, we had a lot of people out there too. I mean, there was a lot. We went on what we call the soccer field now, which was where we used to practice. And I looked out over there. That's where our sub-varsities played. And, man, there was parents and people everywhere. And then you look behind you on the track, and there's people all over the place, not just parents but kids and just people that want to come out and watch. So it was an awesome evening. The surface was good, so all in all, it was a good night for us.
And then the first qualifying tournament is 25th at
Mineral Wells. I don't know if I made that correction on Monday, but I just want to make that correction. I kept saying Graham because I was so used to it. But our first state qualifier is May the 25th in Mineral Wells, and then we'll host ours on June the 1st, and then we'll finish going to GymNet on the 8th.
We want to thank y'all guys for coming in. Appreciate it. Good luck to y'all this summer with everything.
Thank you.
Coach, anything else we need to mention?
Little sponsor. Auto Glass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Highway Enterprises, Humphrey Pete's, Heartland Funeral Home, Landmark Admin, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
All right. You got one more thing on there you want to mention?
Oh, yes. Thank you for looking at my notes. I did want to mention that we do have physicals on Friday. Those will go on from 1 o'clock to the afternoon. We will bus the 6th graders that are going to be 7th graders over. Coach Brown's going to handle that, get them over there. We have a slew of doctors in town that come out and give their time and give us free physicals. So I thank them, everybody involved. It's very organized. Kurt Cameron, our trainer, does a great job of communicating with those doctors. Those doctors get in there. They check our kids out. They give them the time they need. It's not just run them through, make sure everything's okay, and they provide a free physical for our kids, which is huge. So that'll take place on Friday. We'll bus the 6th graders over. So it's incoming 7th graders, it's incoming 9th graders, and incoming 11th graders. So if your kid's a 6th grader going to be in 7th, make sure they're at school on Friday. If they are if they're an incoming freshman, make sure they're at school. We'll bus them from the junior high over, and then our kids at the high school that are sophomores right now going to be juniors, we'll get them physicals. Physicals last for 2 years, so it's always the incoming kids that are going to be the ones that need those. But again, make sure your kids in school, boys and girls. We'll bus them over, make sure they're where they need to be, and offer them a free physical from our doctors in town that are willing to come out and do that for us. And like I said, there's a bunch of them, and I'm very thankful that they provide that service for our kids. It can save a family if you have one kid, it's somewhere around $40 to $50, if not more nowadays. And if you have multiple kids, that's a big bill to have to pay. So I'm thankful for our community for always giving back to our kids, and make sure your kids in school on Friday so we can get them that free physical.
Definitely a very good deal there. And that'll wrap up today's show. We will be back here Monday on the Brownwood Lions Coaching Show on KOXE, KOXE.com, and the KOXE app.
Have a great day, Brownwood. I was laughing.